The courtroom lights were unforgiving, bright enough to show every nervous twitch and every fake smile. Karen Wallace sat upright at the plaintiff's table, a perfectly rehearsed expression plastered across her face. Her blonde hair was swept into a neat bun, a soft curl left loose just to frame her cheek. She looked calm, confident, even elegant, like a woman who had nothing to hide. But deep inside, her heart was pounding like a drum. Across from her sat Ethan Cole, the defendant. A man who looked like he'd worked with his hands his whole life, broad shoulders, calloused palms, sunburned skin, and eyes that carried exhaustion more than anger. His clothes were simple, worn. He didn't belong in a courtroom, and he certainly didn't deserve to be there, but Karen had made sure he was. She was suing him for $3,500, claiming he'd backed his truck into her Lexus while repairing her roof. A story she had told so many times it almost felt true now. Almost. The bailiff's voice boomed, "All rise, Judge Judith Shainlin presiding." The room shifted, cameras focused. Every whisper died instantly. Judge Judy walked in, her black robe flowing with quiet authority. Her expression was unreadable, the calm before the storm. "Be seated," she said sharply, flipping through her notes. "Miss Wallace, you're suing Mr. Cole for $3,500 for vehicle damage, yes?" "Yes, Your Honor," Karen replied, her voice smooth and confident. "He was doing work on my roof, and while backing his truck out of my driveway, he scraped the side of my car." "Did he admit it?" Judy asked. "Yes," Karen lied easily. "He apologized right after but later refused to pay." Judy looked up, one eyebrow raised. "You have proof of this apology?" "I have text messages," Karen said, handing over printed screenshots. Judy took the papers, reading silently. Her expression didn't change, but her eyes, sharp as blades, flicked upward after a moment. "Miss Wallace, these messages don't sound like an admission of guilt. They sound like a man confused about what you're accusing him of." Karen blinked. He was pretending not to remember. He knew exactly what happened. "Pretending," Judy repeated, "or maybe he genuinely didn't know what you were talking about." Karen forced a polite laugh, though her pulse was racing. "He's lying, Your Honor, he did it and now he's trying to get out of it." Ethan finally spoke. His voice was steady, respectful, and calm. "Your Honor, I didn't touch her car, my truck never went near it, I was parked on the side unloading my ladder." Karen snapped, "That's not true." "Quiet," Judy said, holding up a hand. "You'll get your turn." The room fell silent. Judy flipped another page in the case file. "You claim the damage occurred the same day he was working on your roof." "Yes." "And you took these photos right after?" "Yes, Your Honor." Judy studied the photos closely. "You drive a Lexus is?" "Yes." "And Mr. Cole, you drive what?" "A 2002 Ford F-150, ma'am." Judy nodded slowly, tracing her finger along the printed photo. "Then maybe you can help me understand something. The scrape in this photo, it's about knee height, but a Ford F-150 bumper sits nearly a foot higher, so unless you keep your Lexus on stilts, this damage couldn't have been caused by his truck." The audience murmured. Karen's heart sank. "It must be the camera angle," she said quickly. "I might have taken the picture wrong." Judy's eyes narrowed. "The camera didn't move the scratch, Miss Wallace, it's physics. This damage looks more like something you'd get from hitting a parking post or a lamppost." Karen's throat went dry. She tried to smile, but it came out strained. "Your Honor, I know what I saw, I heard it happen." "You heard it?" "Yes, ma'am, I was inside the house and I heard a loud scraping noise. I ran out and saw his truck near my car." Ethan spoke again, quietly. "Her car was parked behind me, but I never moved my truck after unloading. She came out yelling about damage almost an hour after I was done." "An hour," Judy repeated. "Yes, Your Honor." Judy looked at Karen again. "So you claim this happened while he was still there, but he says it was after he left. Do you have proof of when this happened? A time-stamped photo, perhaps?" Karen hesitated. "No, but—" "Then it's your word against his," Judy interrupted, her tone flat but dangerous. "And so far, your story doesn't add up." Karen's fake composure began to slip. She could feel the audience watching, the cameras zooming in, the pressure building. "I'm not lying, Your Honor." "We'll see," Judy said. "Mr. Cole, do you have anything to support your claim?" "Yes, Your Honor." Ethan pulled out his phone. "I took pictures of my truck after she accused me. No marks, no paint, nothing." Judy looked over the photos. Not a single scratch, no silver paint transfer, so if his truck didn't hit your car, what did? Karen's mouth opened but no words came out. Miss Wallace, Judy pressed. I am not sure how else it could have happened, she stammered. Let me guess, Judy said, you parked somewhere else later that day. Karen blinked, maybe. Maybe, Judy repeated. People's memories get conveniently fuzzy when they realize they might not be telling the truth. The audience chuckled, Karen's jaw tightened. I'm not lying, she said again, her voice trembling slightly. Then explain this, Judy said, holding up the text message. You told Mr. Cole if you just fix the bumper I'll pay you the rest. Why would you say that if you believed he was at fault? That sounds like leverage, not honesty. Karen's face went pale. I don't remember writing that. Then let me help you remember, Judy said coldly. This is your phone number, yes. Karen nodded weakly. Then you wrote it, and that tells me everything I need to know about your motive. The courtroom grew silent again. The tension was thick enough to touch. Judy's voice dropped lower, slower. You were supposed to pay him for his work, but you didn't. And when he asked for his money, you accused him of damaging your car, a car that, I suspect, was already damaged. That's not true, Karen cried out. Ethan kept his eyes down, saying nothing. Judy didn't flinch. You can keep denying it all you want, but the truth doesn't change because you say it louder. Karen's breathing quickened, her palms were sweating, the confidence she'd walked in with was gone. Judy leaned forward slightly, resting her chin on her hand. You know, Miss Wallace, after all these years I've learned something very simple. People reveal themselves in the smallest details, the way they talk, the way they hesitate, the way they over-explain. Karen swallowed hard. And right now, Judy continued, you're over-explaining. Karen forced a shaky smile. I just want justice, Your Honor. Justice, Judy echoed, interesting word. Because from where I'm sitting, justice looks like a hardworking man being dragged into court over a lie. Karen's lips parted but nothing came out. She could feel the heat of the cameras, the eyes, the humiliation creeping in. Judy leaned back in her chair, tapping her pen against the file. This case isn't about a car, it's about character, about integrity. The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Karen looked down, gripping her hands tightly. Judy took a breath and said softly, Miss Wallace, I have one question for you. Karen looked up startled. One question. Yes, just one, and when I ask it, you'll know exactly why you're here. Karen's pulse thundered in her ears. Okay. Judy's eyes locked onto hers, sharp and unblinking. The air felt heavy. The audience leaned forward, hanging on the silence. Here's my question, Judy said. She paused, her tone chillingly calm. If you were so sure Mr. Cole hit your car, why did you wait 3 days to file this claim? Karen froze. For a split second her face was blank, then panic flickered in her eyes. She opened her mouth but no words came. Judy didn't move. Go on, she said softly. Answer it. Karen stuttered. I needed to get the repair estimate first. 3 days, Judy pressed. Or was it because you needed time to come up with a story that made sense? Karen's mouth trembled. That's not true. I think it is, Judy said quietly, and I think deep down you know it too. The cameras zoomed in. Karen looked small now, deflated, her confidence stripped away. Ethan sat still, almost pitying her. Judge Judy closed the file and leaned back in her chair. I'm going to give you a chance to think very carefully before you speak again, because your answer to my next question will decide how this ends. Karen's breath caught. One question, Judy repeated. That's all it'll take. Karen's throat went dry. The weight of that single question, why did you wait 3 days, pressed on her like a hand squeezing her chest. Every eye in the courtroom was fixed on her. Cameras zoomed in, waiting for her next move. She opened her mouth but her voice came out cracked. Your Honor, I didn't wait, I was just gathering information. Judy tilted her head, gathering information. Karen nodded too quickly. Yes, I needed the estimate from the body shop before filing the claim, that's all. Judy's gaze didn't waver. Then why does your estimate say it was issued 5 days after the alleged accident? Karen's heart stopped. Her mind scrambled for an answer, any answer, but all she could hear was the blood pounding in her ears. That must be a typo, she whispered. Judy leaned forward, a typo. Karen swallowed, yes, maybe they printed it wrong. Judy slammed her pen down, the sharp crack echoing through the courtroom. Body shops don't print 5-day typos, Miss Wallace, you lied. The audience gasped softly. Ethan sat motionless, his hands folded, watching the woman who had tried to ruin him unravel in front of everyone. Karen shook her head wildly. No, I didn't, I just. Stop talking, Judy said coldly, because every word that comes out of your mouth is digging your hole deeper. Karen's eyes filled with tears. I'm not lying, she whispered, her voice trembling. Judy stared at her for a long moment, the silence stretched heavy and uncomfortable. Then with a slow, measured tone she said, let me tell you something about liars, Miss Wallace. They don't trip over big lies, they trip over small ones, the kind they think nobody will notice. The date on a receipt, the height of a bumper, the missing apology in a text message. Every tiny detail adds up until the truth comes crashing down on them. Karen's lips trembled. Your Honor, please. No, Judy interrupted. You dragged this man here, embarrassed him, wasted this court's time, all because you wanted someone else to pay for your mistake. The courtroom was silent except for the faint hum of the cameras. The tension was electric. Ethan spoke quietly. Your Honor, I don't want to see her in trouble, I just want my name cleared. Judy nodded. You're a good man, Mr. Cole, but people like her count on that kindness. They count on you staying quiet while they twist the story. She turned back to Karen. You said you heard a scrape while he was working, correct? Karen hesitated. Yes. And you said you ran outside immediately. Yes. Then how is it, Judy asked, flipping through the photos, that the shadows in these pictures suggest they were taken around 5 p.m. when you told the bailiff the accident happened before lunch? Karen froze again, the color drained from her face. That's not possible, she murmured. I don't know. Judy's voice sharpened. Oh, it's possible, because it didn't happen when you said it did. You took those pictures later, probably after realizing the real cause of that damage. Karen's lower lip quivered. I didn't. Stop, Judy said, cutting her off. Don't lie again, the evidence has already spoken louder than you ever could. The audience shifted, whispering softly. Karen felt their stares like daggers, her once perfect posture crumbled, she hunched forward, gripping the edge of the table. Your Honor, she said weakly, I didn't mean for it to go this far, I couldn't afford the repair, I thought maybe he wouldn't fight it. Judy's voice was calm now, but the calm that comes before thunder. You thought you could manipulate a system that protects people like him, you wanted to turn a hardworking man into your personal ATM. Karen wiped her eyes. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix the fact that you lied under oath, Judy said. You know how many people walk in here every day with the same look you had this morning, confident, polished, convincing, but the truth always leaks out through the cracks in their stories, through the fear in their eyes. Karen whispered, I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. Judy's eyes softened, but her tone stayed firm. Intentions don't matter when your actions destroy someone's reputation. You accused a man of dishonesty to cover your own. Karen stared down, silent tears falling onto her hands. Judy leaned back, closing the case file with finality. I've seen people lie about stolen jewelry, broken phones, fake leases, you name it, but what disgusts me most is when someone abuses the law just to get ahead. You didn't file this claim because you were wronged, Miss Wallace. You filed it because you were desperate and greedy. The words hit like stones. Karen nodded weakly. You're right, she whispered. The courtroom went completely still. Ethan looked at her, surprised by her sudden honesty. Judy didn't move. Say it louder, she said. Karen's voice broke. You're right, I lied. The audience gasped audibly this time. The truth, once denied, now echoed through the entire room. Judy's eyes didn't blink. About what? Exactly. Karen hesitated, then forced herself to continue. The car, the photos, the damage, it wasn't his fault. My son, he backed into a pole, I just didn't have the money to fix it and… Her words caught in her throat. I thought I could, I thought no one would find out. Judge Judy folded her hands, but someone always does. Karen nodded, tears spilling freely now. I know, I'm sorry. Judy turned to Ethan. Mr. Cole, you don't owe this woman a dime. In fact, I should order her to pay you for your wasted time. Ethan shook his head softly. That's all right, Your Honor, I just wanted the truth out. "That's noble," Judy said, "and rare." She turned back to Karen. "You're lucky he's kinder than you deserve." Karen couldn't look up. Judy stood, her tone final. "This case is dismissed. And Miss Wallace, next time you think about bending the truth, remember this moment. Because no matter how carefully you build a lie, it only takes one question to make it all collapse." The gavel came down, bang. The room exhaled all at once. The audience began to whisper, cameras zooming in on Karen's tear-streaked face as she buried it in her hands. Ethan nodded politely to the judge and walked out, dignity intact. Outside the courtroom, the air felt different, lighter, freer. Ethan stepped into the hallway, shoulders relaxing for the first time in weeks. A production assistant asked quietly if he wanted to make a post-interview comment. He just smiled faintly and said, "The truth speaks for itself." Inside, Karen sat alone, still at the plaintiff's table. The crew was packing up, the lights dimming, but she couldn't move. She kept hearing Judy's words echoing in her head. One question. Just one. It had seemed so small, harmless, even, but it had pulled apart everything she'd built, every layer of her act, until there was nothing left but the raw, ugly truth. She remembered sitting in front of her mirror the night before, practicing her lines. The calm voice, the sympathetic tilt of her head. She thought if she played the part well enough, everyone would believe her. She'd forgotten one thing: Judge Judy wasn't an audience, she was a truth detector, and no performance could fool that. As Karen finally stood to leave, she caught her reflection in the glass door, the mascara streaks, the red eyes, the look of someone who'd lost more than a case. She'd lost credibility, dignity, and the illusion that she could twist the truth without consequences. She walked out silently, avoiding everyone's eyes. The hallway echoed with the sound of her heels, sharp and lonely. Meanwhile, the footage from the case went viral within hours of airing. Clips of Judy, one question spread across social media like wildfire, millions of views, thousands of comments. "She's the GOAT." Judy caught her lying in 10 seconds flat. That one question changed everything. People shared it not just because it was entertaining, but because it was a reminder of something rare: accountability. The video title read exactly as the story had begun. Judge Judy asked one question and Karen's whole story collapsed. For weeks, Karen couldn't escape it. The clip followed her everywhere. Every scroll, every comment section, every suggested video, her own name trending, not for victory but for deceit. And yet, something inside her shifted. Shame burned, but so did realization. The truth she'd fought so hard to hide had finally freed her in a strange, painful way. Months later, she found herself driving past the same parking lot where her son had dented the car. The lamppost still stood there, silent and unbothered, a reminder of where it all began. She parked for a moment, staring at it. The scratch had long been repaired, but the memory never left. She sighed, whispering to herself one question. Sometimes that's all it takes. Because in Judge Judy's courtroom and in life, truth doesn't shout. It waits, quiet, patient, powerful, and when it finally speaks, it destroys every lie standing in its way.